Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Anybody out there? I'm here. So I contacted Janice and I asked her if people had access to the stream to let me know, um, to let you know that I ran into a problem here. So my internet went out, and so I restarted the router. I think it overheated because it was in a room that was exceptionally warm. It's 90 degrees here, so I rebooted the router, and I put the AC on, and so hopefully it won't. I'm pretty sure the box overheated. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. So we will finish up here. We had about 15 minutes left. We'll finish up. If we have to go longer, that's fine. But we only really had a couple of other things left anyway. So we'll try. I want to thank personally anybody who came back, because I wouldn't blame you for bailing when the thing just crashed. So I appreciate you guys coming back. So we got Steve Russell in the room. We got Peter Griffin in the room. We got John King in the room. I imagine Janice will be back shortly. Let me just let her know that that we're back, and I think she will probably be here. I'm going to send her a text message. Because we can't do this without you. We can do it without Janice, but we don't want to. She was in every single live stream we've ever done. So I just want to let her know we're back. Okay. Lynn 801 back in the room. Okay. We got Steve, Peter, John, and Lynn. Yep, 4. That's about right. It is what it is. So here's the thing. We will continue on. If the other people can join us, that would be awesome. If not, I understand completely. It is a holiday weekend, by the way, and we will just continue on where we left off, finish up, and then anybody who misses that will be able to see this because this will be saved. So we'll kind of do that. So we were on the cabbage leaf stuff with rice. I gave it a thumbs up. I don't know how far back we went with that. Here they are. Just in case that didn't make it on video, I don't know if it did or not, but here they're tiny little oily little stuffed grape leaves bites that are really, really good. Thumbs way up on those. Really delicious. Hey, Amy Cakey back too. Okay, cool. I let Janice know she should be in shortly, I think. The Cassandra is back. Cool. All right. So thumbs up on the cabbage leaves. It leaves us with one thing. We did ask a trivia question, did we not? Yes, we did. The question was, hey, Janice, you're back. Good. All right, cool. Yeah, again, I think my my cable box or router or something overheated because it's really hot in the other room. I closed all the windows, closed all the doors, turned the AC on. It's not going to help us in here, but at least maybe I think it overheated. I think that's what the problem was. Can you do me a favor and send me some good vibes? Just had a job interview yesterday, and I think I bombed it because it was my first Zoom meeting and my internet was crap. I would not make that assumption, Amy, because people have a tendency to to not judge you on your connection, unless the job is going to require that you have a good internet connection, maybe. But if not, if they're judging it on your personality and how you're able to respond and everything, then I think you'll probably do okay. As long as you had a good personality on that, answer the questions, didn't stumble or something like that, was probably fine. So I would not worry about the internet, but I'm going to send good vibes out to you. Amy, I just got a job. I start next week, and I've been unemployed for a year, an entire year. And so good vibes to you, and best of luck. And you'll wing it. You'll wing it. I'm almost sure of that. So there we go. Yes, I am back, Stoner Kitchen, and so are you. And so is John King, suggesting also sardine cheese sandwich and watermelon flavored whiskey vodka pops. I think it needs to be a little more complicated than that, John. That's way too simple. Good vibes to you as well, though. Thank you, Amy. I'm looking forward to it. They seem like really nice people. It has several interviews with them and everything, and so I'm looking forward to it. It should be good. I think it's going to be a very rewarding situation from a support standpoint. I think. Good luck to both of us. Let's put it that way. The question was, before we were so rudely interrupted, The question was, what is the difference between unagi and anago? I don't know what people said because that was in the other chat. So I'm not sure what you said. So this will be a freebie for everybody. The difference between unagi and anago is unagi is a freshwater eel, while anago is a saltwater eel, which is typically spotted conger eel. So in sushi terms, unagi is freshwater eel, anago is saltwater eel. That's the difference. I don't know how anyone answered, but just pretend that you answered it correctly and everybody gets 10 points. John, I used to eat canned sardines and tomato sauce with rice and soy sauce. That sounds good. Actually, it does sound good. I've had canned sardines and tomato sauce. I don't know if I put it on. I've put it on things. I don't know if I've ever put it on rice with soy sauce, but I would see what that would work. Yes, the Cassandra, you are absolutely correct. Saltwater eel versus freshwater eel. How's Julie doing? I don't know. I have not heard from her today. I think up to now. I mean, we were texting yesterday, so I think she's doing okay. She would have told me if she wasn't, but I'll call her afterwards and see how she's doing. Thank you for asking, Stoner. All right, we got one thing left, which is our potted pork product. Cured pork loaf, water, and binder product. Doesn't that sound good? So we're going to ask one last question, and or one question. Maybe it won't be the last one. I don't know. What is the name of the process used to force feed geese and ducks to create foie gras? Again, the question. What is the name of the process used to force feed ducks and geese to create foie gras? So that goes on the whatever that burner is. I was going to say put on a middle burner. Philip actually has a middle burner. We saw a picture of it. I saw a picture of it. He sent it to me. Orange flavored chicken pizza grease whiskey burger. Pizza grease. So is it pizza and grease or pizza grease? Okay. So that was the question. Now let's open our pork. So nice little tree on the label. Very nice looking. Ingredients. Pork meat, water, pork skins. That's interesting. Starch, salt, black pepper. Let's see. Ham type flavor. I have no idea what that means. Salt, soy protein, concentrate, natural flavoring, pimento. That's interesting. Sodium nitrate and sodium ascorbate. Wow, that is really interesting. And again, this is from Sokolow, and it is a product of Poland. So let's go ahead and open that up. Happy 4th of July to you as well, East Texas guy. Now, East Texas guy, I am going to go ahead and say that I have not seen you in the room before. Now, if that's incorrect, please correct me. But I don't think I've seen you in here before. Where exactly in East Texas are you from, East Texas guy? And this is your first time in the chat or your first time on the channel. Either way, welcome. And everybody else in the room, please welcome East Texas guy. East Texas guy, John King, who just posted right after you did, who said licorice flavored ice cream cake rum. I think he means rum cake as opposed to cake rum, but I could be wrong. John King is also a Texan from the New Braunfels area. Oh my God, this thing won't open. There we go. It sort of looks like pate, and then sort of looks like Spam, and sort of looks scary. I like the serving suggestion on the front shows slices of this. I don't know how you slice that. I think our best bet is going to be spread it. So I have those little toasts. We will spread it on the toasts. That is what we will do. Trying my Knockout. Is Knockout a brand of beer, Stoner? I've never heard of that before. I've watched your videos, like your videos, but I've not been in your lives before. I am from Athens, Texas. Oh, the Athens of Texas. Athens, Texas. Well, welcome, East Texas. I'm glad you decided to join us. I hope you find the live streams entertaining and interactive, and the crowd welcomes you. The group welcomes you. So we have a couple of new people in the room. So this is probably a bad time to mention it because this is the end of our stream. But just as a reminder, we are not a family channel per se, but we are a family-friendly channel. And the reason that is because Like I have grandchildren that watch this. All my grandchildren watch this. So I actually had both of them on some of my shows, and I've had my grandson Dallas on one of the live streams. So I try to make this something where if you're with your kids, you don't have to say like, oh, I can't watch that right now because I'm with the kids and everything. Bring the kids in and you can watch it with the kids. That's what I try to do. It's not for kids specifically, and it's not family oriented, but we try to make it family friendly so that everybody in your family can watch it. You don't have to like send them out of the room or anything like that. The other thing is that we try to focus on food and travel. Sometimes we get a little sidetracked, and sometimes we talk about music or something along those. I try not to get sidetracked too much. We definitely never get political here because nobody has the same political views. The same with religion, so we just don't discuss that because it's philosophical and it will easily derail the whole thing. So those are kind of the basic rules. Is like we don't talk about religion or politics. We keep it family friendly, and other than that, we're good. I have never had to ban anybody, so I've never had anybody who was like a jerk or something that we just had to go like, you know what, we can't have this on the channel on the live stream, and bye bye. Some people like push the envelope a little bit, but once we tell them, hey, let's keep it family friendly and everything, they're usually pretty good about it. They apologize and everything, and it's pretty cool. We have a very, very cool group, a very, very cool community here. And so just want to let you newcomers know that just before we get started, because I may have appeared on other people's channels, maybe not in live chats, but definitely in other people's channels where we're blue, we're off color, but just want to let you guys know that. There we go. John, you are just an endless stream of odd food combinations. So I don't know if these are suggestions that you want me to do, but some of those things are just like really crazy. So, but yeah, don't let me stop you. Well, Peter, I was thinking kind of along the same lines, but then at the same time, it's just like he's got this chain of thought, right? Of like, what would be some odd combinations of stuff to put together? And so, that is actually appropriate to the channel. That is actually appropriate to the stream. So the thing is, it can be, maybe it's a little bit spammy, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's not really anything outside of, what we suggest or talk about anyway. So, Peter, I'd kind of let it go. If he starts getting risque or off color or something, maybe we stop it. But I've seen you on Reckless Eating quite a few times. I've been on quite a few times. I think the other day, Matt called me part of the crew. I never really considered myself part of the crew. I just happened to be friends with, Matt and Chris and the guys from Reckless Eating, and have just shown up on their videos, but I never really considered myself part of the crew. But I think Matt called me that the other day, so in one of the live streams. Either way, it's a nice group to be part of. All right, here we go. Peanut butter and pickle sandwich. Something tells me we did that, Stoner. No, you know what it was? It wasn't a peanut butter and pickle sandwich. It was a peanut butter and pickle Twinkie, because that was a meme. I don't remember if Tom, old guy in Colorado, brought that to my attention or I brought it to his attention, this peanut butter and pickle Twinkie. But we made them. We made Twinkies from scratch, and we put mixed peanut butter and pickles together and put it in there because we saw it in a meme, and we did that. Also, one of our episodes, this was years ago, but you can take a look at it, from Killer Burger in Portland, Oregon, where we one of the burgers they offer is peanut butter, pickle, and banana burger, and so we eat that on camera too. So peanut butter and pickle, not really crazy. I mean no harm. Yeah, John, you don't have to. Okay, you guys are both good. All right, John, you and Peter, you gotta work it out. Yeah, to kind of explain that. So you're good, John. You're good. You were definitely part of Matt's crew. I figured as much, but it's kind of like, I don't like to assume that. Anyways, let's do some of this. I don't know if how spreadable it's gonna be. I guess we can kind of. It is like the consistency of Spam. It is not really like a spreadable pate, but it's kind of like chunky. So it's not like it would slice, really well either. Let's get a generous amount on there. Here, hang on 1 second. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what it is, kind of. It's kind of scary. Like head cheese. No, not like head cheese. It seems to be more creamier, more like a pate than a head cheese. Because a head cheese is usually those larger bits that are suspended in a gelatin. So this is a completely different thing. It depends. Like I've had some head cheese that are like that. Like Vietnamese head cheese is kind of like that. So yeah, maybe a little bit, Stoner. The mustard and watermelon, that's good, some good stuff. I'm gonna have to try that because somebody else suggested the mustard and watermelon. I have to try that. We did. Somebody had suggested a watermelon with tahine, however you pronounce that. We did that on one episode, but maybe we'll do watermelon and mustard next week. That's a good idea. I think East Texas guy. I think that we will do that next week. So hopefully you'll come back and watch us do that. Looks like something my cat will attack and eat. Yeah, I bet your cat would love this. But I don't know if cats and dogs can eat the same thing. I didn't see where this had onion and garlic in it. That's bad for dogs. But I don't know about cats. I mean, they eat some weird stuff anyways. Never understood head cheese coming from the UK. What is it? Oh, is that a different thing? I've never seen UK head cheese. I've seen like, German head cheese even, but not specifically UK head cheese. So I don't know what the difference is there. Had watermelon with tahini on it. It was okay. Now put tahini on melted marshmallow and mix it all in. Ooh, that's interesting. Like a tahini marshmallow. Wow. Because tahini is, if I'm not mistaken, is like lime, salt, and chili. That would be really interesting on a marshmallow. Yeah, I'm not saying bad, not saying great either. Just interesting. It's an interesting combination. Hog head cheese. Yeah, John. But I think, oh wait, Peter Griffin is saying to Stoner Kitchen, I never understood head cheese coming from the UK. Oh, I see. He's not saying head cheese from the UK. He's saying I don't understand head cheese because I'm from the UK. I mean, we don't have head cheese here at all. That's what I was saying. So, Peter, what head cheese is they take the head of a pig, they cut it in half. They take the brains out and the eyes because they don't want it to change the flavor of it in a negative way. They put it in a big pot with water, some herbs, whatever, some other vegetables and stuff like that in there. And they also take the trotters, which are like the front part of the pig's legs, and they'll put those in there as well. So what happens is, as you cook that down, the collagen that is in the bones and in the skin of the pigs comes out into the broth. And so what happens is, after it's done cooking, and it cooks for a long time, after it's done cooking, you take the meat out and you chop the meat up into small pieces. And then you put it in like a loaf pan, and then you pour the broth on top of it, and then you refrigerate that. So what happens is the gelatin in the broth that came from the bone and the skins solidifies, and then it really holds all those little pieces together. So you pack it as tightly as you can. It holds it all together, and then you just slice that, and it's like a deli meat. So it's the meat you would use for your sandwiches and stuff like that. And that's essentially what hoghead cheese is. I didn't know that it was like something alien to the UK. I thought they maybe ate it in the UK and everything. I know that it's really popular on the East Coast in the United States. Sort of like scrapple, but scrapple's a lot looser, and scrapple's something you fry up for breakfast and everything. It's not the same thing. So that's kind of what head cheese is. I don't know if it's sort of comes from another name. So the term head cheese is weird. It is called head cheese because it's made from a pig's head. I don't get the cheese part of it because there's no cheese in it whatsoever. But it is chopped up chunks of pork that is mixed in with that has the broth, that has the collagen from the bones and the skin that solidifies and makes a gelatin and holds it all together. And that's essentially what head cheese is. I hope that was explanatory, but sounds terrible in 801. No, actually, it's really good. They do a Vietnamese head cheese, which is slightly different. So it's more like this. It's more like very, very small bits, but it has some chewiness to it. And they use that in banh mi sandwiches a lot. So yeah, you should give it a try. I recommend, I recommend using. Most people use it in a sandwich. So you go to a deli. Lynn, I would do this. Go find a decent deli that has a wide variety of stuff. They probably have head cheese. Get it sliced. Get it sliced a little bit thick, because the problem is when you slice it too thin, if the gelatin kind of melts a little bit, which it can do, it's hard to manage. So get it sliced a little bit thick, and then make yourself a sandwich. Maybe put some mustard on it. Maybe an onion, onion slice on it. It's really good. If you like the taste of pork, you'll love it. So it's not bad at all. I mean, I love it. Val, have you ever had blood sausage or blood soup? John, I would ask you to go and do a search on our channel for Trippy Food Blood Fest. Do a search for Trippy Food Blood Fest. We do about 5 different blood sausages, and we do diniguan, which is essentially a blood soup, pork blood soup. It's a Filipino blood soup. So yes, I've had those a lot outside the channel, but we actually did an episode called the Trippy Food Blood Fest where we do blood sausage and blood soup. So check that out, John. So it's good in protein. Yeah, I would imagine it's very high in protein because it's almost all meat. I've never tried head cheese. Well, Amy Kiki, there is your homework assignment to try head cheese, and the next time we get together, you can let us know what you thought of it. I'm sure there's places out near you that, like I said, go to a good deli, even like Ralph's or someplace like that. If you go to one of the larger ones like Ralph's Fresh Fare, they'll have head cheese there. So I would suggest getting some and trying it. Asians never waste any parts of the animal. That's true, Amy. But that was something like in the UK back in the 1990s, you had that whole gastropub movement. I can't remember what the guy's name is from St. John's in I think in the London area, Fergus Henderson, and he really started this thing called the nose to tail movement, which is basically utilize every part of an animal, especially if you're going to slaughter the animal. Utilize every part of that animal. Utilize every part of that animal. And so what typically happened is a lot of it involved the organ meats that were typically overlooked. Typically in the past, what would happen is you go to a butcher shop, and it was either stuff that they would throw away, or you'd get it for like 50 cents a pound. Kidneys, hearts, livers, intestines, things along those lines. And so what this gastropub or this nose to tail movement did was escalate or elevate these things, so that that if you had a dish made with offals, which is basically what the organ meats and stuff are called, offals. If you had a dish made with offals from a fancy restaurant or something, it's going to cost you more than a steak. And so it really elevated the status of organ meats and things that were kind of throwaway stuff. But it was to get as much usage as possible. The bones, cook the bones down, slice them in half, get the marrow out of the bones, eat the marrow, use the bone for things. So it's basically. Val, did you like it? I didn't eat it yet. I've been talking instead of eating. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm gonna eat it. Here we go. I love that. Awful waffles. How were they? Were they awful? That's funny. I wanted to check that out. Awful waffles. Did he mix the organ meats? Did he blend the organ meats with the waffle batter? How did he do that? That sounds interesting. This is really like a pate. But it's chunkier than a pate, but there's no really chewy bits in there. It's really smooth. This is like but a pate usually has other things in it as well. Yeah, it's kind of like a pate. It's not bad. It's much better than, like, say, some of those cheap dollar store, Spam substitutes. That's pretty good. They have a meat grinder. No, they would need a meat grinder. Yeah, it's really good. It's gonna have the thumbs up. So let's go back to our question. Our question was, what is the name of the process used to force feed geese and ducks to create foie gras? That seems like so long ago. And speaking of organ meats, because foie gras is literally fat liver. What is the name of the process used to force feed? And it's really expensive. The name of the process used to force feed geese and ducks to create foie gras. I could scroll back up, but I think I saw most people were calling it gavage, which it is. It is called gavage. And it's very controversial. The thing is, in some of the northern countries, foie gras was one of those things that you ate in the wintertime, like around Christmas time. And you ate it around Christmas time because the ducks and geese would naturally overeat for the winter. And so their liver would become enlarged. And but because foie gras became so popular, because it's a high ticket item, because it became so popular, they started to need to make it all year round. And in order to make it all year round, they had to force feed the ducks and the geese because they wouldn't naturally overeat. And so it became controversial because the process of gavage involves taking a tube and putting it down into the goose's mouth and then just pouring grain into it. And that's what and so it's been very controversial. It is, as to the best of my knowledge, legal in almost every one of the 50 states. For a while, it was illegal in the city of Chicago and the state of California. And the state of California went back and forth, like it was legal, then it was illegal, then it was legal, then it was illegal. I don't know what the status is right now. It might still be illegal based on that process. California is a lot stricter with a lot of stuff like that than any other state. It is illegal in the state of California to eat anything related to a horse. So horse, donkey, zebra, anything like that. It is illegal to sell, buy, eat, or serve anything made with a horse-like animal in the state of California. Now, it's just the state of California. So you could go to like Nevada or Oregon and it's not a problem there, but it is a problem in the state of California. Still, California is much more strict on that. I think California had a ban on shark's fin soup because what was happening is to harvest the fins for shark's fin soup and make room on the boat. Basically, they were catching sharks, they were cutting the fins off, and they were throwing the sharks back in the water to die. So if they could prove that they harvested the entire shark and took the shark back, they could sell the fins for soup. But if they couldn't prove that, then it was illegal. So yeah, California is a lot stricter on a lot of stuff than other places. Sam from Cerealphile. Oh wow, it is so good to see you. And Sam, I got to tell you that part of the reason that you're seeing us at 3:15 in the afternoon, Art, I'm not sure. I think you're the equivalent of Central Time in the U.S. The reason that you're still seeing us is because we had to go longer because we ran into a internet problem. Our internet went down, and so we had to redo. We had to extend the stream. So that's what we did, and that's why you're here. It is so good to see you, Sam. Thank you for joining us. KBD Production is having a live stream at 6 p.m. tonight. Yes, Reckless Eating is doing a live stream. I believe they may have started now. I think it was supposed to be at 3 p.m. Old Guy in Colorado is doing a live stream at 5 p.m. As he typically does. Jackie Hero Foods in Canada is doing a live stream today, but I'm not sure what time. So there's a lot of people doing a live stream, but thank you for bringing that to our attention. It's 5:15 here, or the equivalent of U.S. Central Time. So, but thank you for joining us, Sam. It's good to see you here. We haven't seen you in a while, so maybe because we do it too early. So that was the question. I think everybody answered it right. It doesn't matter. We're not keeping track anyways. There's no points. It doesn't matter. Anyways, this potted meat, this whatever we call that, cured pork loaf, water and binder product, thumbs up. It's actually pretty good. So we're gonna do something stupid because that's what we do here. We do a stupid thing. This ought to make John King feel good. I'm gonna ask a question first. Here's a good question. When was the donut invented? More points if you can tell us who invented the donut, and even more points if you can tell us why he invented the donut. And when I say donut, I'm talking about the ring-shaped donut. All right, so who invented that? I mean, when was it invented? That was the first one. The second one is who invented it, and the third one is why did he invent it? So the basic one is when. Everything else is gravy. Extra points. YouTube did not like alcohol content. I need to get back to food. Oh, yeah, I took most of my videos now. Stoner, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I did not realize. Do you still have videos up, Stoner? Because I'm always pushing other people's channels. Cerealphile's got a great channel. Janice has a great channel. Tom, who already left because he had to get ready for his live stream, has a great channel. Snackhead Cowboy, Wander Wisely, Reckless Eating. So a lot of people who Rob Switch Reviews, a lot of people who are on here and are in the chat have channels and have great channels. I would not push them if I didn't enjoy them and thought they were great channels. But I didn't realize that you had one, Stoner Kitchen. So if I will check to see if you still have one, or if you still have some left. I will check that out. I did not realize that you had one. So somebody brought that up. But anyways, donut question, back burner. Now we're going to do something stupid. So we're going to start with what we just did, which was the for lack of another word, I'm going to call it potted meat. That's kind of what it is. You know, it's got some other stuff in it. So we're going to put that on our piece of toast. And again, you didn't see the toast in the thumbnail. I didn't talk about the toast because at the end of the day, it's a piece of toast, right? Okay, there we go. So we got our pork product on our piece of toast. Now let's put okra on it. So we're going to put, see if we can find a smaller one. Well, just one's good enough. We'll put one of our okras on there. Now, let's take one of our cute, adorable little stuffed cabbage leaves stuffed with rice. Oh, that one's falling apart. And let's put that on top of that. There we go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. What is 4? I know what 4 is. 4 is our phyllo crisp with apricot honey. This is gonna weird that out, I think. So my toast just broke. Let's put that on the bottom to hold it together. And there we go. Somebody want to screenshot that beauty? Look at that. So we have our pork product. We have an okra stuck on there, our pickled okra. We have our, is it pickled okra? Marinated okra. We have our stuffed, cabbage leaves stuffed with rice. We have our phyllo crisp with apricot honey. And may God have mercy on my soul. Stone, are you thinking of reviving the channel or doing some more episodes? You ought to. I mean, you know what they're. I mean, you weren't banned, right? So, I mean, you kind of know what they'll take down and stuff. But you could build the subs back up. I know a lot of us would be interested in seeing that. So, you know, think about that. That would be a good thing. It's actually pretty good. The sweetness of the phyllo crisp is a little bit weird. The honey in that is a little bit weird, but everything else blends together pretty well. Again, what we did today was more or less snack-like, and more like a meal. You know, because we did vegetables, we did meat, we did the whatever this is. So in hindsight, everything else goes great. The toast is, I mean, the toast is just a neutral palate. The pork meat is good. The stuffed grape leaves good. The okra good. The sweetness of the phyllo crisp is a little bit off-putting. So that's why it's kind of getting a thumbs in the middle rather than a thumbs up. It's not horrible. It's not terrible. It's just that it just really tastes like it doesn't belong in there. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's also not great. I think this is going to be my dinner. I think I'm going to eat this as well. So I would have to say, on the whole, everything was exceptional. Everything was really, really good. there wasn't one thing that I tried that I thought was like crazy or terrible or anything. Everything on its own got a thumbs way up. The combination, thumbs in the middle, only because that apricot honey cracker thing, the phyllo dough thing, I just kind of offset it. Dough. It kind of takes on a different consistency. I mean, a different flavor and everything when it gets warmer. I think it's meant to drink cold. I would advise actually on any of the shows that we do, any of the live streams that we do, we're not doing anything crazy. I mean, it's really not crazy. Some of the stuff might be crazy to our Western sensibilities, but honestly, some culture somewhere is doing these things, and we're just exposing you to them. We're just showing you some things that other people eat in other parts of the world. And for the most part, I think all this stuff is really good. So I would advise to you, if you have access to these things, try them. I think I give a pretty good explanation of who makes the product, what the product is, and everything in the description of the live stream. You should check it out and try these things out. Again, everything today was like really, really good. The trips in the room. Hey, Canada, more Canada in the room. We got Cerealphile. We got the trips. I'm a little bit I mean, we could go on a little bit longer, I suppose. I was going to kind of wrap it up soon. So I don't know if we just have Steve, or we have all three of the trips, or or Eric, or I'm not sure who's there. But the reason that you're able to come in and see us is because we ran into an issue where the internet went out, and I think it might have been because of the heat, that the router or something overheated, because when I went to look at it, it was really, really hot. So I had to reboot that, and then I had to restart the. Do not apologize for being late. It is good to see you. I'm glad you decided to come in at all. Well, the same with Cerealphile. Cerealphile came in afterwards when we had to restart it. So this is like part 2 because part 1 locked up. It'll be interesting to go back and see if it actually saved it. I don't know if it saved it. It's just like the internet locked up, and I don't know if it saved the video or not. I don't know what was going on with that. So I rebooted the router and everything. I put the air conditioner on so it didn't overheat, and that looks like that worked. But that's why you were able to come in at after 3 p.m. and be able to still see us. So here's what I'm going to propose. I'll ask. You know what? Here's what the thing is. I usually do this thing for 2 hours. We're going into our third hour. This is like in the middle of our third hour, and again, we did it out of necessity. But we do have some people who did not see the rest of the stream. Now it gets recorded, so you guys can go back and watch that afterwards. But here's what I'm going to do. I will extend this. I will extend the stream. There's no reason why. Hey, it's my stream. I can do whatever I want, right? I will go till 4 p.m. our time, which is an extra hour total, as long as you guys are okay with that. Now, some of you, 2 hours is the maximum, and maybe you don't feel like sticking around for more than that, and I understand that, and that's cool. And to those who feel like that, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thank you for joining us again. It's always nice to have you part with us. But because we have people who have joined afterwards, we'll keep going for at least another half hour, right? Or at least till 4 p.m. Pacific time, just so that people who have not been able to enjoy the entire stream can do it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for another half hour. We've already gone through the foods. We'll continue to snack on the foods as we go, and then some people can catch up. We'll talk about some stuff. We can ask some trivia questions if you want. I have a few left. But yeah, for you guys who came in late and came in on the second part of it, yeah, we'll stick around for a while. And but please do not apologize for being late. We're just glad to have you here. That's cool. Do you happen to like turkey meat? I love turkey meat. My favorite turkey meat is center cut turkey breast grill that have turkey tacos and onions chopped with habanero and fettuccine and pepper. That sounds awesome. I do like turkey. My preference is I like dark meat. I like the dark meat, and the same with chicken. I like the dark meat better. I love turkey legs. I like turkey livers. I do like turkey meat. If I was to say, like, do I like turkey or chicken better, I would have to say I like turkey. But I don't know that I've ever eaten a bird I didn't like. I like squab, which is pigeon. I like, what else have I had? The silky, which is a variety of chicken, but it's the one that's black. The meat, the bones, all the way through is black. I do like that. Peacock, I like peacock. Peacock is really good. I like duck. I like goose. I like ostrich and emu. So those are kind of the birds I've eaten. There might be one or two other ones I've neglected, but yeah, never really had a bird that I've eaten that I go like, I'm not really crazy about that. But chicken to me isn't my first choice. But it's not that I don't like chicken. It's just that my whole life I've eaten chicken, right? So you go to any restaurant that serves, they probably have beef, they probably have pork, and they probably have chicken, and that's kind of, unless you consider fish meat. But beef, pork, and chicken are like the holy trinity of meats. And every restaurant in the United States is going to have some form of beef, pork, and chicken. And so I don't want to say it's boring, because it depends on how you make it. But to me, just eating chicken for an entire lifetime, after a while, I like to change it up. So I like Nashville hot chicken, or a Nashville hot chicken sandwich. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sticking around, Brother Val. You are welcome to stick around, John. Everybody is welcome to stick around as they were. So Amy Kagey's sticking around. East Texas guy sticking around, which is nice because he kind of came in towards the end of it too. And so we'll get together. It won't be as exciting because we won't be eating as much stuff. I'll be snacking on the stuff that we had, but it won't be as exciting. I don't know, as we're actually taking the snacks. Val is carrying wee and he doesn't even know it. Well, Abbott, I don't really think I'm carrying wee. I would say that Matt recognized that he had to change up reckless eating because of the changes that YouTube made. So YouTube made changes and said, you can't chug alcohol anymore. You can't vomit anymore. You can't do anything where it looks like someone's getting hurt anymore. You can't do any of that. So they had to take out a whole bunch of videos. And then he realized that in order to continue to put videos up, he would have to change their approach. And so it was his idea to do the main show as a We Go main show, which is basically a road trip main show. So it's kind of roadside attractions and food, unusual food, going to some location and coming back. The reason he reached out to me to ask me to help him with that is because that's what I do. That's what I'm known. Food and travel. That's my bag, baby. That's what I do. And so he kind of reached out to me, and certainly the original ones that we were, or I would say that every We Go main show that we've done so far has been like, he's been telling me, you just put together the itinerary, you let us know. I usually put together like 3 pages worth of stuff that we could do. We never ever get to all of it. There's no way. But I put enough stuff there that when I give it to Matt, I say, what do you want to do out of this list? I'm like, what is important to you to do out of this list? Or he might have something else that is important to him to do. For instance, when we did we just recently filmed the San Francisco We Go main show. And one of the things that he says is a must do is there is a sandwich called the Kryptonite that they sell at this place called Ike's. Now, Ike's is all over, I don't know if it's just the West Coast. They might be all over the country. But Ike's is a sandwich place. They do some really creative and really unusual sandwiches. But they have this one sandwich just filled with meat called the Kryptonite. And so he said, well, whatever we do, we're definitely doing the Ike's sandwich place. So that was a must do. And then there were things, and everything else on the list, I would like, if you want to do this, we can do this. If you don't want to do this, we don't have to do this. I call ahead of time to see what's going to be open, because some things aren't. Like, for instance, I don't know who's familiar with Coit Tower. So Coit Tower, you've probably seen it in videos, movies, whatever, from San Francisco. But it is this, it just looks, it's a white tower. The design of the tower is supposed to look like a fire hose nozzle, because the Mrs. Coit, who funded the tower, did it as a tribute to the firefighters in San Francisco, specifically the firefighters who helped save San Francisco in the 1906 earthquake and fire. So that was on the list of things to do. And especially because there is a series of steps that go up called the Filbert steps that go up to Coit Tower from the Embarcadero in San Francisco. And there's 400 steps. So it's always fun to go up those steps and then to go into Coit Tower. When I called Coit Tower, they told me it was closed. So you couldn't go up to the top of Coit Tower. But you could go on the base, go to the gift shop. It's still worthwhile. So we put that on our list. We went. And when we got up to the top, when we got up to the base of Coit Tower, we found out that it was open and you can go up to the top. So we did that. So it's always it's not set in stone. We go by a whole list and everything. But again, it's kind of what we've always done at Trippy Food. And I say we, I mean me. That's what I've done my whole life. It's like road trips, travel, and food. And so that's why Matt reached out to me, because he thought it would be a good idea to do that for We Go Main Show. And that's how I kind of got involved with that. So I'm happy to be able to do that. I'm happy to lend my experience to that, and it's always fun. It is almost always fun, but it's generally fun doing that with Matt and whoever else happens to go. The San Francisco We Go Main Show, Chris Reckless joined us. So that I was like traveling with Reckless eating royalty. That was just like, I was just in awe. I was just like, oh my God, I get to do this We Go Main Show with Reckless eating royalty. This is like these are the OG Reckless eating. So to me, that was kind of a cool thing. But San Francisco was fun, and so you should be able to see that. There's some other ones coming out before. They're already in the can. So I think over the next week or so, Matt is going to release the one that we did in Palm Springs in the desert. And then after that, I think, is the Los Angeles one that we did with Lindsay. And then after that, the San Francisco one. And then we might be filming one or two, before that. And then those will be out as well. So enjoy your shows, Matt, where you tell the history of locations you visit. Thank you, Steve. Somebody in one of my videos said I talk too much, but I don't know. I don't think you want to sit there and look at my face for 20 minutes or whatever that is, but. What's some beef jerky that you recommend? It's because I like to eat beef jerky, and I've had quite a few different kinds, but I haven't found one that I love. What do you like about beef jerky, though? Because there's a big difference in beef jerky. So there's usually like those chunks like Jack Links. I think they're more tender. They're more like chunks of beef, more so than a traditional beef jerky that's usually drier. Like some of them are like tree bark. Like you really go. Like I'm trying to remember where I was. I'm going to say it's somewhere in Texas where they had beef jerky at the counter. I can't remember where it was, but it was like wood. It was like pulling wood off. Really, really good flavor, but really, really chewy. That you really had to pull that off and really chew it for a long time. So there's a wide variation in between there. And then there's game jerkies as well. So there's some that made with alligator and ostrich and all different things like that. So it depends on what you like out of a beef jerky. I'm not saying that like one is the correct way to do it and one is not the correct way to do it. There's a wide variety. What I would suggest you try, which I found really, really tasty, and it's not true beef jerky, but it's somewhat like it, as it's African in nature, and it's called biltong. I've seen it at like CVS and Walgreens. You could probably find it there, but it's called biltong, and it's just like it has a very, very meaty flavor, and it's not too tough, but it's also not too soft and squishy. So East Texas guy, if you can find that biltong, biltong is the type of meat it is. I'm trying to remember what the name of the company is that makes it. We've done one on one of the live streams. I'm just trying to remember the brand, and I can't remember the brand offhand. But if you could find, let me look it up real quick. If you guys don't mind, this will just take a minute. I think it's Crave. I think that's Crave is the name of the brand. Let me look that up here. Strive. Strive is the brand. Strive. STRYVE. Strive biltong. Try that. Try that, and then if you join us next week, let me know what you think if you can find that. And if you can't find that, let me know as well. But I would try that one just because it's a little bit different. And again, like Janice is mentioning there, it's sort of a matter of preference. Val, I was thinking about moving to California. Why would you do that, John? I mean, like, what is your reasoning for moving to California? Is your reasoning to be near the ocean? Um, and what part of California are you thinking of moving to? The reason I say that is because if you're thinking of moving to the Los Angeles area is exorbitantly priced. It is very, very, very expensive to live in the Los Angeles area. We have the highest gas prices anywhere in the country. The heat isn't awesome. The winters are either mild or it sometimes can actually be warm. We get very little rain. There are water shortages. There are fires. I guess it depends on your reason. Like if you're in the film industry or the music industry, then maybe you want to do that. Maybe it's closer to that. If you want to check out the theme parks, and that you're kind of into the theme parks. If you're into surfing, maybe that's your reason to move into California. But you know, I don't know. I guess you have to weigh all those things out, John, when you're going to relocate to another place. Is it like, A, do you know people in those areas? So if something happens to you, is there somebody who can take care of you? Is there someplace, you know, someone there to help you? You know, the other thing is, are you going to like the climate? The other one is like, is it going to be cost effective? I lived in Texas. I lived in Austin, Texas. I lived in Portland, Oregon. I owned homes in both places. I owned a home in Portland, Oregon. I owned a home in Austin, Texas. I can't own a home here. I cannot afford to own a home in Southern California. So these are things that you have to take into account. So when you say you're thinking about moving, I think a lot of people they kind of get attracted to the whole Disneyland movie Hollywood kind of thing. It's attractive, right? But the realization is like you really have to start to get into understanding the kind of place that you're moving to. But the bottom line is, what's the reason that you want to do? What's the reason that you want to move here? So, you know, what do you need to be accessible to? I guess that's the big question. Let's see. I've had elk beef jerky. I've had camel beef jerky. I've regular beef jerky and had turtle beef jerky. I've had chicken. Wow, that's interesting, East Texas guy. At the end of the day, what really makes a good beef jerky is if you're getting beef jerky and it has all those things that you like about a beef jerky, the flavor, the texture, you know, all those things are important. You know, for me, what makes a good beef jerky is that smoky smell and taste, right? I like to have that smoke, smell, and taste in a beef jerky. I've had some beef jerkies that didn't have that, but that's one of the things that I like in a beef jerky. Yes, East Texas guy did Stryve, but with a Y instead of an I. Stryve. Yeah, John King corrected that. I see that. At least you have a winter. No, we don't have a winter here in well, and in Texas, in the part of Texas where John King is, they do. I would say it's a relatively mild winter, sort of like Southern California, a little bit cooler. And then every once in a while they ice storms. Like I would say, like every 3 to 5 years or so. Like, and certainly in Austin, I don't know about like New Braunfels or farther south, but certainly in Austin, every 3 to 5 years we would get an ice storm, and the city comes to a grinding halt because nobody knows how to function in that ice storm. Just completely, everything covered with ice. So, so when you say at least you have a winter, I would say that was probably true in Portland, Oregon. Although it didn't snow very much in Portland, Oregon. There were a couple times we got a snowstorm, got like 8 inches of snow one time, and that was at a low altitude. But once you start going up around 500 feet, then that was like a foot deep. It got a little bit more winter. I grew up in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, we have 4 distinct seasons. We have a very distinct season, a very distinct hot summer. We have a very distinct wet and green spring. We have a very cold winter with snow and ice and all that fun stuff. Not all the time, but most of the time. And we have my favorite time of the year, fall. Leaves change color. It gets cool, brisk. My favorite time of the year is autumn. We don't have that in Southern California. The very, very few places in California have that kind of season change. 4 distinct seasons that you have in Massachusetts and Texas as well. Texas has a range of climates, but nothing like in the northern states. I love Austin, Texas. I go down there quite a bit for the music scene. I haven't been since 2009, so I lived there from 1991 to 2003 when I came to Southern California. I lived there. And obviously I'm a road trip guy, so I've done a lot of traveling from Austin, Texas. So I've kind of been all around Texas. Been up to the Metroplex, Dallas and Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, and all points in between. I do love Texas, but the summers are brutally hot there. That was hard to deal with. My sister is sick and she lives in Reading. That would be a good reason if you're going there to help your sister who lives in Reading. That would be a good thing to do. In Reading, you're not too far. You're maybe 3 hours from. Somewhere between 3 to 5 hours from San Francisco, maybe a little bit less to Sacramento because you're heading straight down I-5. Not far from Ashland, Oregon, which is kind of a cool place and everything. So I don't know that Reading is like a big metropolitan area where there's a lot of stuff to do or anything, but you might like living in Reading because you have access to stuff. The climate is pretty. I want to say it's kind of like desert, maybe. There's not a lot of forest area or anything like that. I'm not sure about the altitude. It's kind of like maybe midway. Like as you start getting into Ashland and everything, you're at a higher altitude, and as you start to go south on I-5, you're in a valley. So again, it depends on your preference. But where you say you have a sick sister who lives in Reading, that alone is worth making that up. And Reading is not like Southern California or like Los Angeles or San Francisco, where it's not cost prohibitive to live in Reading. So Reading might be a good shot. You should do where your heart sends you. What flavor do you like? Savory, sweet, carnival candy has some interesting jerkies. Fairly. Oh, okay. We're still talking about jerkies. So if you guys haven't seen this, I still have some of everything left. I'll eat some of that in case you missed it. This is the ZerGüt cabbage leaves with rice, and ZerGüt was a product of where did I say? Poland? Hang on a second. ZerGüt was a product of Bulgaria. So these are stuffed cabbages. They're stuffed with rice. There's some carrots and some other stuff in it. They're not like if you've ever been into a Jewish deli and had stuffed cabbage. They're not like those at all. Again, the cabbage leaves are really thin. It just kind of melts in your mouth. Really tasty. There's a lot of spices in there. It's really good. And again, I don't mind snacking on this stuff again because this is my dinner. Around dinner time anyways, close to 4 o'clock. This was the beverage that we had two beverages. We had the doogh, which is very similar to Indian lassi. There's another, it's a fermented yogurt drink. So there's a lot of other cultures that do it as well. I'm just shaking it up because it settles. It is fermented, so there is some natural carbonation in there. But you could hear that when I unleash that. This particular one, some of them have salt, some of them do not have salt. This one does have salt, and it also has a mint flavor, but I was missing a lot of the mint flavor in that. Now, I am talking and I'm not seeing anybody in the chat, so I'm not seeing anybody putting in the chat. I'm just checking again because we did have a problem earlier with the internet going out and us losing the channel. So I'm just checking. You guys still out there? Let me know. I'll put this in a glass. Val, don't forget to look for the dollar colada. Yeah, but you're going to send me a picture, right? Because, like I said, I can look for it, but I want to know what I'm looking for because I could not find it online. So, still on. Thank you, Janice. So this was cold, but now it is gotten warm. It just takes on a different flavor when it's warm. The saltiness is more startling when it's cold. When it warms up, it's better. We will now have some more marinated okra. We did these things. I think most people saw us do these things at the end, towards the end altogether, but we didn't do them individually. So this is marinated okra. Again, this it tastes like it's in a salt brine. A lot of marinated okra is in a vinegar base. This is, definitely tastes like a salt brine. And these are young okra. Sounds like a TV series. Young okra. Today on Young Okra. As okra grows, as okra gets bigger, it gets more fibrous. That's why you don't want to leave it on the vine too long, or the plant too long, because once it gets to about this size, it's inedible. It is very fibrous and inedible. And so there's this kind of magic balance that you're looking for. What makes it edible? These are very young ones, and so they're really, really tender. But they are marinated, so it's hard to say. It could be that the marination breaks it down. These are the phyllo crisps, and again, they're made with phyllo dough. So if you're not familiar with phyllo dough, it is the dough that they use to make baklava. So the dough is rolled out very, very thin, and then it's layered. So basically, they roll out really thin, and then they fold it on top of itself. Then they roll it out some more, then they fold it on top of itself, and they roll it. So eventually, you end up with a bunch of very, very thin layers together. And then when they bake that, it's really light and crispy. All the layers separate. This is kind of odd because if there are multiple layers here, that I can't tell. I think it's maybe like 1 or 2 layers thick, which is unusual for phyllo, anything with phyllo dough in it. But and they have, I was going to say those look like chocolate chips. I don't think they're chocolate chips. I was going to turn it sideways, but they're not in the plastic bag anymore, so everything was going to go all over the place. Let me take that out and take a look at the ingredients here. Wheat flour, apricots, canola oil, dextrose and sugar, which is unusual. There's 2 different kinds of sugar. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, jumbo oats, concentrated butter, cornstarch, honey, salt, maltodextrin, soy, lecithin. Contains wheat, milk, and soy. It's really good. It's like a light and sweet. What would you call it? Like an energy bar? Like those. I'm trying to think of the brand. They do the sweet and salty mix and everything. It's like that, only lighter. There's a sweetness from the honey and a sweetness from the apricots and everything. That's really good. Do you like asparagus? I do like asparagus. But asparagus is one of those other things that, depending on when it's harvested, can be like that as well. It can be like, stringy. It gets really, really stringy with a lot of fiber in it and everything. And then I don't like it so much. I like it when it's tender enough that you just kind of slice it and it slices evenly. I don't like it like when you try to cut it and it's being held together with all the stringy stuff. I kind of don't like that, Steve. So the trick is getting it right at the right point, I think. This potted meat, it's like, I don't know how hot it is in the room. It's like 80 degrees. I have the air conditioner on the other room, but it doesn't get in here. It's pretty warm. It looks like it's cooking this potted meat. Where am I? Where is my toast? Somebody bring me my toast. I have a little toast. I'm going to put some of this on it. This is not going to keep, so I'm going to make sure that I eat this. This is that potted pork. You can see that it's, yeah. You guys pretend you didn't see that, okay? It landed on the plate. We're okay. But you can see that it's kind of going to gelatin, and that's the thing. It's like when you cook down pork, especially if you're cooking it down with the bones and with the skin and everything, then you get a lot of that collagen in there, and it's kind of like if you've ever cooked a ham, and then you put it in there, you put the leftovers in the refrigerator, and you take it out, and it has that gelatin on it. It's because it's the collagen that comes out of like the skin and the bones of the pig when you cook it, and then when you put it in the refrigerator, that collagen solidifies and makes that gelatin. It's kind of what holds head cheese together. Typically, these things can be salty, really salty. This one is not. It's pretty good. It's scary sounding. It's a cured pork loaf, water, and binder product. We can sneak in a couple of things that I typically don't get to. So those are the little newsworthy items. Some of these are old. Some of these I haven't got a chance to talk to you. Like one of them is a story about if you're familiar with boba, they're the tapioca balls, little chewy tapioca balls that they put in like milk teas. If you've like anyone from Southern California probably knows what boba is. I don't know of like other places and everything. It's an Asian thing. I'm not sure which countries specifically do boba or milk teas. But the story was, this was from Business Insider, and I think it was a while back, bubble tea drinkers could be out of luck as shortage of boba and other products may make the sweet drink hard to find. I didn't find that to be the case. I did not find there to be a real shortage of boba. Every time that I've had boba over the past few months, it seems to be readily available. So I don't know if that was a thing because of a specific incident as to what, again, I believe it's made from tapioca. Tapioca comes from the root of a plant. I don't think there was a shortage of tapioca. It may be if boba comes from some other place and is imported, that there was a problem with the importation of the boba. I don't know what it was, but there was a shortage of boba for a while. Well, they were saying there was a shortage of boba for a while. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it really happened. Donor colada is available for a limited time, so it might be hard to find again. Well, so when you say it's a limited time, you mean it was a limited time only, and so now it's not available? You said you saw it in the Walmart. So if you recently saw it in Walmart, they may still have it. I will ask at Walmart. I just haven't seen it, and I haven't seen it when I tried to do a search for it online. But I will definitely try to look for that. Again, all these things were really good. I've destroyed the glass that I put this in. This again was the Natakhtari is the brand from Georgia, the country of Georgia, not the state of Georgia. And it is a Georgian lemonade, and the fruit that it is made with is feijoa, which is a Caribbean fruit. I don't know if it's citrusy. It kind of looks a little pulpy. They call it different types of guava, but it is not related. It's not a true guava. But it says Georgian lemonade, but I don't know if that means it's made like a lemonade, but made with this fruit. Because I'm really going to taste a lot of lemon in here. And the ingredients are deceptive. This one kind of like loses something when it's warm, because again, it's been sitting out. The room is probably like 80 degrees in here. It's been sitting out for a while. I think it was better when it was cold. So sometimes it's best to heed those things that say best served cold or best served chilled. Did I cover everything? Did I cover all the snacks that we had today for those who came in late? I think I did. So it's kind of like it's like deja vu. You came in at the beginning, you got to see it all over again. But yeah, so some people had some really interesting suggestions. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at the list and see what it is. But there's some interesting suggestions for future episodes. John, I'm gonna look for that dollar colada this afternoon. I'm gonna right from here. I'm gonna go over to Walmart and see if they have it. If not, but do try to send me that picture so I can see what's going on, because like I said, I cannot find it online unless you're sending me on a snipe hunt. Maybe that's what it is. As far as other stories, what the future of restaurants will look like post-pandemic. Well, some people are calling this post-pandemic. I would not call this post-pandemic. Let's see, how Fanta was created for Nazi Germany. So those of you who enjoy Fanta don't realize that basically Coca-Cola kind of spun off Fanta as a drink for Nazi Germany. A lot of people don't know that. That's really interesting. It doesn't make it a bad soda, but you should always know what you're putting in your mouth. The other thing was Aunt Jemima. So you guys remember, some people will call it cancel culture and everything. I don't even want to get into that right now. But because people have companies reserve the right to change the name of their product, to change the packaging of their product as they desire, for whatever reason. The company that made Aunt Jemima decided they were going to change the name, so they changed it to Pearl Milling Company. Now, last time I was in the grocery store, which was 2 days ago, I did see that they had the Aunt Jemima syrup, which it looks like they're trying to get rid of their current stock, the Aunt Jemima syrup. But next to it, they also had the Pearl Milling Company stock. It's the exact same thing, except that Pearl Milling Company is the new name for it, and they're right next to each other. So it looks like they started shipping out the new ones as Pearl Milling Company, and then the old ones, which are Aunt Jemima, are still on the shelves. And as soon as, I guess, when those disappear, they're all done. So if you want a collectible, maybe get yourself a bottle of Aunt Jemima. Don't open it and everything, and that might be a collectible item because they've changed the name to Pearl Milling. A couple of other things like. What is it? Land O'Lakes butter. They used to have the Indian Maiden on the butter. She's long gone. A couple of them. I think they're supposed to be changing Uncle Ben's rice. I don't know if they're changing the picture. They're changing the name, but that's supposed to change as well. But just to let you know that last time I was in the grocery store, they already changed the name of Aunt Jemima to Pearl Milling. Still some of the old Aunt Jemima product is still on the shelf. That was interesting. I would say we are on the storm when it comes to COVID. Yeah, I would agree with you, Steve Russell, because there are, maybe, I want to say, what is it, 70%? 70% of Americans are inoculated against it. We don't know if that inoculation is going to be helpful against new strains. We don't know that. We don't know how long the immunity lasts from the inoculation. We don't know if we're going to need boosters or anything else like that. And then the fact is, like, everybody's comfortable with it, and we've opened everything up, but only 70% of the people are inoculated. So that means 30% of the people can be carriers, or can, maybe the risk of catching it from people if you're inoculated is lower, but it could be that some people go like, oh, you know what, 70% are inoculated. It's probably close enough. Everyone's good. Open everything up. They're back to indoor dining. They're back to no restrictions, no mask. You don't have to wear a mask. People do if they want to. I do if I'm going into a crowd. But I think you're right. I think it is the eye of the storm. I don't know that we know what's coming up. I don't know, So I would suggest that you take precautions and you be careful. That's what I would suggest. If they ever change the Tapatio guide, there will be riots. Yeah, well, they did. So I don't know if you're old enough to remember, Stoner, but do you remember the Frito Bandito? They did change the Frito Bandito. They did get rid of the Frito Bandito. They got rid of the Taco Bell Chihuahua. So I don't know. Hey, JT Savage in the room. Good to see you, JT. Unfortunately, you are coming in the very tail end. So we decided to extend. We had a problem with the internet, so we came back in for a second part of the stream, and we just decided to stay on later because we had other people coming in. But we're about to wrap it up here. It's 4 o'clock. So we did a 3-hour stream today, less the time we were down because of the internet problem, and so we're about to wrap it up. But I appreciate you stopping in, and hopefully you will stop in next week and see us. But it is good to see you. Everybody should welcome you in the room. I think there's a lot of other people who are streaming today. I believe that Tom Raymond, old guy in Colorado, he streams at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so he'll be streaming in about an hour. Somebody mentioned that the guy in Canada, Ken Domick is streaming this afternoon. I'm not sure what time he was supposed to start. Reckless Eating is streaming this afternoon. Jackie Haro from Canada streams this afternoon. I don't know what time that is. So yeah, there's a bunch of people streaming today. Some of the other channels. If you go to the main YouTube page, our main YouTube page, at the bottom of it, there's featured channels. Check those out. So a lot of the people who we've done collaborations with, and then there's some other people who have really cool channels. check them out. There are a lot of people that you will see and you will know from the chat. Janice Yamanaka, she has a great channel. We actually did some filming with her last week, so there'll be some episodes coming out we did with Matt from Reckless Eating and Janice Yamanaka. We've done stuff. We did stuff last week with Q the Critic, so those are coming out. So definitely check out those channels. Make sure that like if you enjoy Trippy Food, if you like the streams, if you like watching the episodes and everything, and you're just watching it, just go that little extra step. Do it for me. I'm asking you as a favor. Do that extra step and subscribe. So you don't have to have a channel to subscribe. You just have to have a YouTube account. It takes seconds to open up a YouTube account. You don't have to use it. You don't have to like post videos or anything like that. But just open up a YouTube account, subscribe to it, ring the little bell, and you will get notifications every time a video gets posted or we're going to do a live stream. You'll get notifications of that. Do that. Watch the videos and like the videos. So I'm asking you to do that for us, but I'm also asking you to do that for other people. When you look at those other featured channels, give them some love as well. Seriophile, who just came into the room, channel. The Trips, they have a great channel. Definitely check those out. Yeah, lots of live streams today. Trips, what time does Janice usually do? I mean, not Janice, I'm sorry. Jackie. What time does Jackie usually do her stream? She usually does her stream on Saturdays, right? Check out those channels. Again, if you go to our main YouTube page at the bottom, it says featured channels. Just check out all those. Rob Switch, check Main Event Pong, Beyond Seattle Eats. Check out the channels. They're doing some great stuff. I would not ask you to check them out. I would not ask you to support those channels if I didn't think they were doing some cool stuff, and if I didn't enjoy them myself. So I would not recommend somebody to you that I didn't feel were great channels. I mean, there's other channels that really we haven't done any collaborations with, we haven't done a lot of stuff with, but they still have great channels. Curbside Pickup from, I believe they're from Atlanta, the Georgia, somewhere in Georgia. They do a fun channel too. So check these out. They're all in our feature channel. Or John Wisely from Wander Wisely, who we met when we were doing the We Go Main show out in the desert. Check it out. We just recently did a collaboration with him as well. So check it out. Give them some love. Subscribe. She goes live at 10 p.m. Eastern, so that I thought she was earlier, but yeah, Ken's stream is starting right now. Yeah, so if you guys want to jump off and start and go to Ken's stream, I think Reckless Eating is also streaming right now. I think they may have started an hour or so ago. They usually start around the time that we finish. And again, Tom, Old Guy in Colorado, his live stream starts in an hour. Wherever you are, it's in another hour. So I appreciate everybody. It was nice to see some faces that I haven't seen before. We have some new people to the room, and I'm glad you could join us. It is a great community. I always look forward to this. As the high point of my week is being able to interact with you guys. It's always a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's a great group, and I just really, really enjoy it. And I look forward to seeing everybody. So I'll let you guys know what's coming up the next week. It's usually the same time, unless I specify otherwise. It's Saturdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and I try to let you know ahead of time what we're going to be doing on the live stream. But appreciate every single one of you for supporting the channel and for being part of this this great community, and I really enjoy it. So I appreciate you guys joining us, and hope to see you again soon. So I will end it the way I normally end it, which is to say, it's crazy out there, so please, honestly, be careful. Take care of yourselves, take care of others, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.